Future Hornets, current Hornets, and forever Hornets. Welcome to another episode of What's the Buzz? I'm your host, Pitt, and I have with me today senior double major in business and Spanish, Alexa Wonacott. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Alexa is one of our prized possessions in the admissions office. She is not working in the admissions office now because of all the things you have on your plate. Mm-hmm. But when you come back, we'll welcome you. We'll welcome ours.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm excited.
I guess today we want to just kind of focus on you, right? But essentially, one of the pieces that we have a part of our K plan is experiential education, right? So we talk about learning outside the classroom, whether it is community-based courses, clubs, organizations, internship, externship opportunities. All of these things are ways to continue the education process just out of the formal classroom setting. And you are in depth with experiential education.
Yes.
Do you want to share with us a little bit as far as what you are, a part of since you've been on campus?
Yeah, absolutely. So I like to sing. Mm-hmm. I like music. I'm a part of the Kalamazoo College Singers here on campus, the Limelights a cappella group. I'm also one of the co-presidents for the Professional Women's Club.
Really?
Yeah, the Business Department DSA, which is the Department Student Advisor.
Yeah.
And I also work at the admissions office.
Wow. Multifaceted and a double major. Like, how do you find the time to make all of these things happen?
It's all about time management.
Yeah,
sure.
Time
management, organization. It's hard because I really enjoy doing all those things and they're important to me. So it's making time in my busy schedule, and it might help that I'm a morning person too. So that's just
gotta get the most
I naturally got lucky with that. Yep.
Yeah. So before we dive deep into our topic, what's your origin story? How did you decide to become a Hornet?
Yeah, kind of unconventional. My brother lives in Kalamazoo, and so I went to visit him one day, and his neighbor had one of those Future Hornet signs, and I was like, oh, Hornets, what's Kalamazoo College? And kind of got introduced to it that way, and then did some research and really was interested in studying abroad, the K plan, just so many things about K appealed to me, and so it was kind of just word of mouth. Those posters got around, and I saw one.
So getting into the meat and potatoes of this interview, you are a part of the incubator Experience, which is a experiential learning experience via a class with Amy McMillan, correct?
Yep, and Timothy Moffitt.
Can you tell us what you have experienced within this experiential education opportunity?
Essentially, it's our business senior seminar, so there's probably about 35 students in the class. We're split up into 6 different teams, and we have a client, which is Greenleaf Hospitality Group, and essentially each team's task is to create some kind of event that will bring students of all kinds, so KVCC, Western, and K students, to their new event center that they're building downtown. So it's been a huge task, but have definitely learned a lot, and I'm really enjoying it.
So what have been some of the responsibilities of the seniors within this class aligned with Greenleaf Hospitality Group? Because I was kind of doing a little reading on it. You guys are basically serving as consultants, right? To figure out what may be attractive to college students that will get them to the new Kalamazoo Event Center.
A lot of it is just creative, out of the box thinking. So what would bring us downtown? And it's funny, we were joking about this the other day in class, but I think sometimes K students especially, but are so into rubrics and structure. It's what do I have to do to get an A in this class? But for this class, there is no rubric, there's no structure, it's the real world. So we're trying to come up with the best possible idea, the best possible pitch for our client. And so it's really just a lot of brainstorming, a lot of crunching numbers, but just formulating a plan and a campaign that will really bring people downtown.
So what would you think has been like your greatest takeaway from this experience, right? Because obviously being a business major alongside being a Spanish major, but there's some ambition there to find yourself in that business world.
Absolutely.
Right? So what have been some tools that you have been equipped with through this experience that you think would be applicable to what you find yourself doing post-graduation?
Yeah, I, I think a big part of it is kind of going back to that rubric idea is the real world isn't like that. And so you can't wait for somebody to tell you how to do something or tell you to do it. You know, no one is going to, in the real world, say, hey, if you do these tasks, you're going to get a promotion or you're going to get a raise. You kind of have to step outside of the box, maybe step outside of your comfort zone a little bit, to, you know, give people the best possible product, the best possible pitch. So that's been one aspect of it. I think also just, you know, the confidence, the assertiveness, there's a lot of aspects there, especially with a leadership role, being able to step up into that, I think has been huge for me, super educational. And so to be able to have that opportunity to, you know, try it in maybe a more safe space, a classroom-esque type space before I go into the real world has been super helpful. And I definitely will take those skills with me.
I would have killed for an experience, you know, like this.
I think this has been probably one of the most influential classes I've ever taken. Yeah. And I think it's challenged people. It's put people in uncomfortable positions, but all for the better. I mean, we had to give peer evaluations. So it was like, you know, our team leads were sitting down one-on-one with our team and evaluating, saying essentially like, here's what you're doing good, but here's how you can improve. And also getting that feedback too. So learning how to take feedback, evaluations, like those are such, you know, good skills.
Yeah, it is the real world. That is the professional space that you will find yourself in. But you did mention that like there have been challenges within this experience. Can you, you know, talk about that a little bit more? Yeah,
I think part of it maybe is the team lead aspect, just, you know, coming at it with from a place of respect, peer respect, and learning how to collaborate with other people. So I think just trying to balance those dynamics has been a challenge. And I think it's also challenged a lot of people with feedback. It's always hard to hear constructive criticism, you know, and so especially when it's an idea you're so passionate about and it's you hear from the client, oh, they hate it. You're like, okay, well, you know, we got to start from scratch. Just as something that we have to do. So
that's fairly humbling.
Absolutely, but you know what? That's the real world, and so it's been good.
Especially that's business for sure.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think that's one of the things that you also learning is that this is business. It's not necessarily personal.
Yeah,
you know, because people can get caught up in hearing that feedback, and now you're taking things personal. It's like, no, this is just for constructive criticism. This is opportunity for us to grow, and it is business, right? What do you think you've grown in your leadership, you know, ability since being in this position?
This is my first, I guess, leadership position in this business aspect, and so I kind of had to figure that out as I went, especially when it is your peers. You know, there's a sense of awkwardness there. But I think I've learned that for me, and everyone's going to have a different leadership style, but for me, I really like that collaborative approach, you know, the kindness approach. I think making sure everyone feels like they're a part of the team, everyone makes sure their voice is heard. So trying to amplify my team, not necessarily talk over them, speak for them, really building them up has worked best for me. And I think that leadership style I found has been the best fit for me.
For sure. No, I definitely see that. Like just working with you in the admissions office, you are a kind-hearted, kind-spirited person. So I knew that you would, you know, take major consideration in your approaches to your peers.
Thank you.
But this is a competition.
Absolutely. Like, there's an aspect.
It is 6 teams here, right? So there is like a sense of urgency to put your best foot forward.
Absolutely.
So what have been like some of the competitive natures of this class, you know, maybe talking with other, you know, individuals from other teams and whatnot. So what has that been like?
Yeah, I think the competition aspect of it is really fun, actually. And I think it gives people a little bit more sense of urgency, like you said. Yeah. And so I think there's a layer of secrecy to it a little bit too. Sure. Some people are, you know, oh, don't listen to our idea or, you know, trying to hide that a little bit. But it's really encouraged us to say, you know, oh, maybe we saw this group got really good feedback on this assignment. You know what, guys, like, let's push harder for the next one. Or, you know what, this group tried this and it's worked really well. Like, how can we incorporate something like that into our team? So, you know, other people are leading by example. And so I think when people are succeeding, it, you know, it lifts us all up. And so I've really enjoyed that competitive aspect, and I think it's helped a lot.
So with this class, and obviously, like, this is a super in-depth class, right? Yeah. This is not like your, you know, usual, you know, Kalamazoo College course, right? So there is essentially work that needs to be done outside of the class work in a class time. How have you been finding prioritizing this project with the individuals within your group, as well as handling your other responsibilities with your coursework, and still being part of like the college singers and things of that nature?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to delegation has been huge for our team.
Right.
And what I really am enjoying about specifically my team, but just group projects in general, is everyone is bringing something different to the table. And so I have people in my group that are really good at public speaking or pitching or financials. So it's really saying, our deliverable this week or our project this week is this, and it's finances. So maybe you're going to take a little bit more responsibility here, and then we can pull the weight over here. So it's really making sure that everybody is doing their part, but with what they're best at. And I think that also has helped with the time management aspect of it, because people might have heavier weeks sometimes. And so if we can all kind of carry the load together, disperse that, it's been helpful. We don't necessarily have a syllabus for this class, but we have a rough outline. We know that at the end we're going to have to pitch to our client. And so it's saying, maybe we're going to have a meeting this week to start that because we need to be done in 2 weeks. So it's really that, forward-thinking mindset.
Yeah. What have been some of the conversations that have been had from Dr. McMillan and Dr. Moffitt with you guys, especially at the beginning of this experience? What were some of the things that they were, putting you on game about, essentially?
Yeah, I mean, a lot. Amy and Tim at the beginning of the term said, this is going to be a tough class. You're going to be challenged. You're going to be uncomfortable. And so I think setting that expectation, people were like, oh, okay, I'm ready for that. And so they warned us, about receiving feedback, about the challenges, how team dynamics might get in the way. And so to kind of get ahead of that, set a team culture so that, week 8 comes and someone's fighting about something, you don't know how to resolve that conflict and your team just falls apart. So they think they really set us up for success in being realistic about what happens in the real world, what you might encounter, and how to handle that.
But you are learning real valuable life lessons within this class. And that's the whole experiential education piece,
exactly.
Right? That's the point. You are getting outside your comfort zone by being put in some discomfort, but ultimately growing and stretching yourself. Wow, this is so sweet.
Yeah.
Wow. So before we get up out of here, I always ask all of our guests, why K?
For me, experiential learning, I think there's been so many aspects of that have been really impactful for my education. So whether that was the study abroad, whether that's, having an on-campus job or having classes like this with the community engagement and the community partnership, you can read as many textbooks as you want, as many case studies, but there's nothing like experiencing it in the real world. And so to have those experiences before I even leave college has been incredible, and I think is going to set me up for success in my future and for a more meaningful career. And I feel so grateful that I have found that at K.
I know that's right. Well, I'm Team Alexa, so
yeah, go Team 6, right?
Team 6. I'm Team 6. And look, that's my favorite number too.
Perfect.
So look, it's all aligning. But Alexa, thank you so much for finding the free time in your busy schedule to come and sit down with me and share your senior experience, but your experience as a Kalamazoo College student in general.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Anytime.
Yeah.
And that's another episode. We thank Alexa one more time for coming and sitting down with us and explaining and talking about her senior experience. That's the buzz.